Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel Umahi, and if you're joining me for the very first time, please do subscribe to this channel and do drop a comment down below, and don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. So guys, today I created this gold glam with a brown smoky and a bit of a black smoky eyes and nude lips. If you would love to learn how I created this look, please do keep watching this video. Thank you. So I started by cleaning the face, and then I sprayed my Meral baduscue hydrating spray and let that set in. Then I went over with my Cosrx snail moisturizer. I know I did not show you guys. The day I filmed this video, I was like kind of in a bit of a rush. And now this is my Mehron skin prep, and I'm just going to be applying it on the parts where I feel she has a little bit more oil and will sweat a little bit more. And just that part, just the T-zones, that's the only part I'll be applying that skin prep. And I did not go over with a primer or anything. I just went over with my foundation, which I'm applying now, which is the Huda Beauty in Cinnamon, and I mixed it with my NYX Bond This Way foundation in Cappuccino, and I just mixed that. And this is a great blend, and I just blended it in with my foundation brush first of all. And after blending that in with my foundation brush, I'll be going over with my Yglam beauty blender, and I'll just use that to blend this foundation in properly. Like you guys already know, just take your time and make sure you blend your foundation. Also, another thing I want to say about foundation, kind of look at the undertone of the person before choosing your foundation, not just the color. She has a little bit of a yellow tone, so I had to apply a foundation that kind of gives me a yellow gold tone. So you can't see her looking yellow and you apply something with a red undertone. So the best way to choose your foundation, just look all over her body, look at her hands, and look at if she's looking reddish or kind of goldish or warm, and that will tell you the best kind of foundation to choose for her skin tone. So that's exactly what I did. I'm just going over and I'm blending. Now using my aucoin concealer in XS12, I'll just be applying that as my highlighting shade. I'll be applying that under the eyes, the middle of the nose, the forehead, the chin, the side of the mouth. Just be applying that with that little concealer brush, and I'll just place it there and let it sit for a bit, and then I'm just going to blend it. Guys, I actually really love this concealer, and I chose it because one, it's really pigmented, really nice, and also because of the tone. You can see it's also giving me that yellow tone that I really love, and I feel like it would blend so perfectly with her shade. So that's just what I wanted. And now I'm using this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer, and this is in Chestnut, I think. So I'm just applying that to the corners of where I applied my highlighting shade, so just so that it blends perfectly with her skin tone, because it's kind of close. It's a bit darker, but it's a bit closer to her skin tone. So when it's the lighter concealer merges with it, it doesn't give a harsh line. It just blends properly and melts with the rest of the skin. Right now, I'm just going to be blending the concealers, and I'm taking my time to blend them. And I usually like to start at the outer corners of where I apply the concealer to blend it in, so that I don't go overboard. Like when you start from the beginning part and you start blending, before you know, you've applied the concealer all over, because the concealer is really thick and it really has a lot of coverage, so it might not just stay in that place. Going to just keep moving. But when you blend out the little that is in the outer corner, right, whatever remains from the one you blend in the middle will just go and sit at that corner, that outer corner side, instead of going all over to the rest of the face, thereby highlighting literally the whole of your face and just applying the concealer at the point where you don't want it to go. So it's always advisable, start blending from the outer corner and then go over to the inner corner and just blend everything out. So right now I'm going in with my black opal stick foundation, and this is in carob, and I'll be using this to contour and bronze her face because this shade is kind of a little bit warm, so it will add warmth to her face. I'll be doing this at the side of her face, her jawline, her forehead, the corners of her forehead, and I'll also be using this to contour her nose. So this shade is not so dark, and it's just giving the perfect warmth that it's needed for her skin. So it's just a great shade for her skin tone. And right now I'm just using this with a smaller brush to contour the nose. I'll be taking it down to the beginning of the brows and going in to the lid where I'll be blending that in. And I'm just using the back of my beauty blender, the other side, to just blend that stick foundation in. Always just take your time to blend this product in. And I applied a little dot of a lighter concealer underneath her eyes. That is the e.l.f. concealer in medium warm. I just applied just a tiny dot of the concealer on the inner corners of her eyes, just to make that place pop a little bit, so it's not just dull. I just wanted it to pop just a little bit, not so much, so that's why I applied very little. Now going in with my eye magic palette, I'm just applying that pink shade. I think I mixed pink and peach, and I'm just applying that to the high point of the face as my liquid blush. I'll be blending that in also with my beauty blender. So guys, always take your time to blend the skin. This is like the foundation of your makeup, so I always just try to take my time to just blend the skin perfectly. And right now I want to set underneath her eyes. Literally, I want to set the whole face. So first of all, I always go back in with my beauty blender and I blend under the eyes just to avoid creasing, because she has been looking up and down, And I'm going in with my Laura Mercier setting powder in translucent, and I'm just going to be using that to set the makeup with this brush first of all. And after setting, then we can go right ahead and bake. But first of all, I'm setting the part. I put concealer underneath her eyes, her forehead, the middle of her nose, her chin. I'm just going to go ahead and just set that part with that translucent powder. And I really love the Laura Mercier setting powder. It really just fine-tunes the skin. It just blends so perfectly, and it just gives an airbrush look. That's why it's like literally my favorite setting powder. Why my second favorite, as you all know on this channel, is the Meral cosmetic setting powder. Their setting powders are just so beautiful. I can't. Right now I'm just going in with my Dabel palette. I'm just using the shade that is closer to her tone. It's kind of a yellow shade in that second roll of that powder. I think that's the last one in the second roll, so I'm just using that to apply in the parts where I did not apply concealer. So I'm just using that to set the rest of her face. I'll be going all over with that to her neck, set every part of her face with her shade of powder. And after setting her face, I am using my Morphe palette. This is the 33T totally tan palette, I think, and I'm using the contour shade to contour, you know, that line below her, below the place I applied the bronzer or the stick foundation. I just applied in a straight line that contour shade. This is the darkest shade in that palette, and now I'm using the bronzer. There are two bronzers. There's one contour shade. I'm using the second bronzer to bronze all her face, and I'm using the blush from that palette on the high point of her face to apply blush. So basically I used the palette for contour, bronzer, and blush. That palette contains a bronzer, a blush, a contour, and even a highlight shade. So it's really a perfect face palette. You guys, you need to get this palette. They are like, I think there are four shades in the palette on the Morphe side, so you can just grab any one that, you know, maybe the client you have gravitate towards. I feel like that palette is perfect because mostly we get medium toned clients, so it's really a great palette to have. Right now I'm baking under her eyes with my Sacha Buttercup powder, and I'll just be using that to bake. So this will just help catch my fallout and all. I'll also be applying some setting powder to the corners of the mouth, and I'll just bake that part too. I'm just going to let that sit, and I'm just going to go off camera and I'm just going to draw her brows. You guys, there's a brow video on my channel, so you can watch that. Right now I'm using my Morphe 33, I'm not even so sure, I think it's 32B or so palette, and I'm just using that to apply my transition shade. And I'm using that orangey like shade as my transition, and I'll be applying that all over the crease area, starting from the outer corner of the crease, and I'll be moving into the inner corner. I just like to apply my transition all over first. I don't know why I do that though, but I just love to do that first of all before I go in with the next shade. I like to build up my eyeshadow, build it up step by step. Right now I'm applying the Tara eyeshadow base. I'm just using my fingertip to just apply that and blend it in at the same time. And so this will serve as my base color for my eyeshadow. And for my eyeshadow, I'll be using the Kamsi collection palette. It's the Goddess palette. That's the palette I'll be using for eyeshadow. And I'll be applying a gold eyeshadow color in that palette. I think there are two gold colors. Okay, I think there's just one real gold color. So that's the gold I'm applying in that palette, from that palette, and I'm just using my fingertip to just blend it all over. I also went over with a brown from my Morphe palette, and I use that as my contour shade. I just apply to the outer corners of my eye, and I just blended that. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just contouring, you know, creating more dimension with the dark brown. So with this dark brown, I'm kind of just smoking up the eyes properly. So as I'm blending, or as I'm applying my shadows, I just keep blending with that transition color because I do not want the brown to overshadow the transition color. I do not want it to go over, so I'm careful and I'm just going ahead and just applying the transition color again when it seems like the brown is going overboard a bit. Right now I'm applying my NYX glue. This is the NYX Glitter Primer, and I'm just going to be applying it all over the lid because I want to apply my glitter. And I'm using this glitter from Luztaz Cosmetics. This is a Morenike. I think this is a gold shade, or like a champagne gold shade. So I'm just going to be placing it on the lid area, and this is just going to look beautiful, and it's just going to sparkle so beautifully. So I'm just taking my time and I'm just pressing that glitter all over the eyes carefully. For sure there's going to be fallout, but still I'm trying as much as possible to apply it as carefully as I can so the fallout is not excessive. But you know, we're not worried about fallout so much because that's the reason why we're baking. Those powders are going to just catch all these glitters that are falling out. And I'm done with that, and I'm applying my eyeliner. This is the Meral Cosmetic black liner, and it's really so black and beautiful, and I'll be applying it on the lower line. And I'll also be using this to also line her eyes a bit because I'm going to smoke that part out with black. So I'm just applying the liner as the base. After lining, I just went over with this it's not a dark brown, it's kind of a light brown color, and I'm just applying it underneath the eyes. I'm just kind of using it to smoke underneath the eyes a bit because I'm still going to also smoke that part with black, but I just wanted it to just create kind of like a transition, just like the upper part of the eyes, you know. I just did everywhere to kind of blend in nicely. And now I'm going in with that black from my Kamsi collection palette, and I'm going to be using that to smoke out that black liner I put, and I'm just going to be smoking that. I wanted the line to be like a little bit very edgy, so I'm just going to be smoking it out a little bit more, dragging that line out a lot more. So I took my time to blend that, and I'm going underneath the eyes with a smaller brush, and I'm just going to be using that to also smoke underneath the eyes, smoking out that black liner I did, and I'm just darkening it out with the eyeshadow so everywhere is like really dark and, you know, smoked out. And after doing this, I'm just going to blend it with a lighter brown shade so it's not so dark. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just blending that outer part, the outer corners, so it's not excessively dark. And after that, I'm just going to go ahead and dust out the fallouts. So I'm just dusting off all the fallout from that glitters. And now I'm lining with my NYX Epic liner, and I'm just going to try to straighten out the line I've made before with this liner. So I won't be drawing any wing with this liner because already there's a wing drawn with that with my shadow. After doing this, I'm just going to apply mascara, and I'll just go ahead and apply my lashes. After applying the lashes, I'm just using a little bit of that glitter also to just apply a little in the inner corner of under her eyes, just a little at that part, just so it pops it out a bit more. You can see like it makes a little difference just looking at the eyes this way. It looks so pretty. So right now I'm going in with the blush from that Morphe palette, and I'm just going to be applying the blush at the cheek, and I'm just going to be taking it upwards a bit. This look is already coming together already. It looks really pretty already, and I hope you guys are liking what you're seeing because I absolutely really liked it. Now I'm using the highlight shade from that palette, and I'm just pressing it in at the inner corner, at the under her eyes. I'm just pressing it under her eyes after dusting out the powders and all. And now I'm spraying her face with my Kiss Beauty spray. I'll wait for that to dry down a bit. While waiting, I'm just going to clean up her lips, and I'll apply a little bit of the lip balm. I'll clean that off before I will apply my lipstick. Now I'm just doing my mascara on her under eyelashes, and I'm working with Lee's signature because he's doing the hair, so we're kind of going to be working together right now. I'm using the I'm Not Sorry liquid blushes from TM Essential, and I just took a little bit of that, and I've just been applying that on her cheek. I just wanted to reinforce the blush and make sure it's, you know, much more obvious, not too obvious, but you know, a little bit more obvious. So I just applied a little bit more with my beauty blender. And after applying the blush, I'm going to go ahead and apply a liquid highlighter, and this one I'm going to be applying is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is in Penny. I'm just going to apply a little on top of that blush. Oh yeah, just on top of that blush, a little bit on the bridge of the nose and a little bit on the forehead. And after applying this, I am also going to be applying a powder bronzer, or a powder highlighter, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter, and I'll just be applying a little bit on that part I applied the liquid glow. So it just makes it much more beautiful, and it just glows a lot more. Look at the dark glow, you guys. It's really, you know, it's really popping a little bit more. I'm kind of trying to avoid that pimple I'm seeing there, so that's why I did not go ham on that part. It's kind of avoiding that pimple. You don't want to go with a lot of highlighter when you're seeing pimple, because it just pronounces it so much more. Right now I'm lining the lips with a brown lip liner from Beautylinebydidi, and I'm just going to apply that lip liner all over her lips. And after doing that, I'm just going to reinforce the lining with my Eye Magic palette, the brown in my Eye Magic palette. Right now I'm just blending the brown together, and after doing this brown, I'll be going over the lips with my Kamsi collection lip stain in 03. It's a darker brown, or it's a darker nude shade. I like to use it for darker skin color, not so dark, but you know, it actually looks very natural on kind of medium dark skin shades. So I just applied that and I blended it over with the brown, and I wanted the lips to really be as subtle as possible, and I achieved that with this shade. And after doing this, I'm just going to be applying gloss. After blending, I'll be applying gloss on the lip. On the outer part of the lip, I'll be applying my clear gloss in classic. That's a classic clear gloss. I'll be applying that all over the part where there's a brown lip color showing, and in the middle of the lips where the nude is more prominent, I'll be applying my Fenty gloss in Fenty Glow in that part. Guys, this look looks so good. What do you all think? Please do let me know in the comment section what you think about this look. Do you love it? Do you not love it? You guys, please do engage me on the comment section and tell me what you love about this look. And also do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Tell me what you think about it. The hair is already done now. Lee finished the hair and it looks so good. I love everything about this look, and I hope you guys love this look as much as I did, and I love sharing this look with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Love you all. Till my next video. Bye bye.